is the Wandering Wight, one of the first major bosses in Black Myth Wukong. And for many players, this is the first real wall. It hits hard, it barely gives you room to breathe, and chances are you're going to die here more than once. But this fight isn't difficult just for the sake of difficulty. It's doing something much more important. It's teaching the player how the game wants them to fight. A great early boss usually tests one foundational skill. Not everything, just the core systems the player absolutely needs to master moving forward. And here, that skill is dodging. More specifically, chain dodging. Since each dodge consumes stamina, it's really testing two things at once: chain dodging and stamina management. The Wandering Wight rarely attacks just once. Instead, most of its attacks come in sequences. A swipe, another swipe, then a heavy slam. So the player isn't just learning when to dodge, they're learning how many times they can afford to dodge. And that's where stamina becomes crucial. In Wukong, both dodging and running consume stamina, so every defensive decision has a cost. If the player panic rolls too early or keeps sprinting around the arena, they can easily run out of stamina before the combo ends. That means the final hit in the sequence becomes much harder to avoid. So the boss is teaching two core lessons very early. First, read the rhythm of attack strings and dodge at the correct time. And second, manage your stamina so you still have resources for the full sequence. Other early aspects to consider for boss design are the size of the arena and the scale of the boss. The Wandering Wight is nearly twice the size of the player, showing immediate threat. It also moves slower than the player when not attacking, but moves a lot faster than the player when doing certain attacks. Both these factors combined make its attacks more readable, yet deadly. A large arena is therefore needed to allow a large boss to move around, as well as to give player enough room to dodge, reposition, and recover. A large arena also gives the player combat range options. On the other hand, a cramped space or uneven terrain here would make the fight feel unfair to the player. An important combat design goal for Souls-like games like Black Myth Wukong is to let the players approach the fight however they want. And a decently sized arena helps achieve that goal. Another factor in the arena to consider is any boss environment interaction opportunity. For the Wandering Wight, the player can drag the wight into pillars, causing him to stagger and provide an attack opening. Well-designed arenas will give players more tools to use during a fight. Because Wukong is mostly a close-range fighter at this point, the player will always need to be in close range to the boss to deal damage. So the boss's primary moveset is built around melee pressure, mostly swipes and pounds. Repeated close-range attacks with small attack openings for the player and dodge checks maintain pressure. The boss is forcing the player to master the rhythm of close combat. So now the player's dominant strategy obviously becomes straying away from the boss for defense. To overcome that, we give the boss a gap closer attack. The moment the player starts creating distance, the boss closes the gap. A good boss shouldn't allow one safe answer to solve the whole fight. So a gap closer move resets the distance and pulls the player right back into the danger area. Then there are certain ranged attacks that start testing different dodge answers. The force push style attack is fast and linear, which forces the player to dodge sideways. The triple shockwave makes the player dodge backwards multiple times. Both these attacks are testing chain dodging, but in different directions and using different attack patterns. But hard-hitting attacks alone doesn't make a boss feel good. What makes it satisfying is reward. In this case, the attack opportunities for the player. Successful defense for a short period of time creates opportunity. After a slam misses, the boss enters recovery. That's the punish window. Here, it is just enough time for the player to get a combo in and deal some damage. This window also provides enough time to heal if the player chooses to do so instead of attacking the boss. The player has also recently unlocked the freeze ability, so this boss is also acting as a test for a newly introduced mechanic. That's good encounter design. The game gives the player a new combat tool, then immediately presents a fight where the tool feels powerful and rewarding. The player learns by using it in a difficult combat scenario. And these fundamental design ideas are what make the Wandering Wight such a strong early boss, and checks the player's mastery over it. Dodge timing, chain dodging, spacing, punish and reward windows, and stagger opportunities. All of these ideas are something that the players will need to master before they move forward, and that's the mark of a great early boss. Not just difficulty, but difficulty with purpose.